West and the United States of America.
The world has changed much, and I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Okay, so what does that mean? Well, here's a very simple way of looking at it. After World War II, the world came to an agreement about how to structure the new world order. China became the factory of the world, Japan became the lender by keeping rates at zero, keeping the system liquid. Europe became the buyer and consumer of the world. They traded productivity and military for stability and social welfare. And the United States became the country that enforced the whole thing with the petrodollar as the world's reserve currency, backed by the military-industrial complex. Now that system is what Simon Dixon coined as the proof of weapons network, which means if countries want to trade, or if they want money to build their economies, they have to agree to the rules. The rules were, use dollars to buy energy and do not mess with US interests. The petrodollar made sure that the world needed dollars to buy its energy, the military enforced it all, and financial institutions, along with the central banks, managed the flow of all this money. So if you play by the rules, you got access to investment markets and protection, and if you broke the rules, you got punished with things like sanctions or just outright war. Now, if you're an American, depending on which side of the K-shaped economy you were on, rich or poor, then you indirectly benefited from that system because US companies made a lot of money. And if you were an investor, you also made a lot of money. It takes a forever war, which is bad for the world. Now, if you're poor as an American, it's especially bad because the system gave out all the jobs, supply chains left, factories left, and what it did was it concentrated wealth, it hollowed out the middle class, and it created a very fragile dependency on other nations for their stuff. Because America stopped making stuff. The only thing America made was money and technology. And for a long time, that's how the world worked. Technically, it still does, at least on paper, but it's coming to the end. Because fast forward to today, and some of these nations decided to team up and said, okay, we'll make our own system then. And they've become so powerful at this point that the proof of weapons network cannot enforce the rules anymore without going to World War III, which no one wants. And at the most recent meeting at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, which just happened, the people who sort of control these levers of power said that this game is over.
Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind.
So now Japan is being forced to repatriate its capital back, sell their US treasuries, just like all the other nations in this new world. This weakens the dollar because the dollar needs perpetual demand, and that demand is disappearing. Europe learned if you depend on other countries for your energy and you outsource your safety and your military, well, then you've got no power to enforce the rules. So what we're left with is what was talked about at this World Economic Forum. The question was, how do we divide power in this new world order? That's what I want to help explain. I want to show you who the players are, what each of them wants, and what it might look like in the future. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the new world order.